Shalom from Jerusalem, Israel. This is where we are at this moment. It is really great to be here in this city, in this country, because this is where you feel the, first of all, you feel a certain peace from the Lord. It's here, a certain protection. And also this is where Bible prophecies are coming to life, especially when you consider what is behind me. Right behind me you have the Mount of Olives. The Mount of Olives, this is where Jesus was, let's say in Matthew 24, when he sat down with the disciples and they asked him about the beautiful temple that was right in front, and this is what it is in front. This is where the temple used to be. You have the two actually shrines, Muslim shrines. You have the Dome of the Rock and the Al-Aqsa Mosque that is there, that were built way past 600 after Jesus, when Jesus came here. And so what we have here is, this is where Jesus was sitting, this is where he was talking to the disciples, and this is where the temple was built. And I want to read you the passage of what he said, especially in Matthew 24. 24, it says, verses 1 and 2, Jesus came out from the temple and was going away when his disciple came up to the point out the temple building to him, and he said to them, "Do you not see all these things? Truly I say to you, not one stone will be left upon another which will not be thrown." Right? And of course, he was predicting the destruction of the temple in 70 AD, but there are still stones over stones, because you have the western wall that is over there, right below, if you want, the mosque, or the golden cup that you see over there, right? It is still there. It is a prophecy that is yet to be fulfilled. And look at again the Mount of Olives. This is where Zechariah prophesied. In Zechariah chapter 14, he said, "In that day, his feet," talking about the Messiah's feet, "will stand on the Mount of Olives, which is in front of Jerusalem on the east. And the Mount of Olives will be split in the middle from east to west by a very large valley, so that half of the mountains will move toward the north and the other half toward the south." Why was there a valley or a split of the Mount of Olives necessary? Because Joel tells us that it's going to be a time where God's going to bring all the nations, or representative of the nations there, and he's going to judge them. In Joel chapter 3 says, "I will gather the nations." And he called that valley the valley of Jehoshaphat, that is the valley of judgment. That would be the time when Yeshua will come. And if you notice, right there you have, it's a cemetery. A lot of tombs. Why? Because the Jewish people know about that prophecy of Zechariah 14. And so they go and they expect the Messiah, they expect to be resurrected the first. This is why it's there. This is the most expensive plots, if you want, cemetery plots that you have in the world itself. And of course, we're talking about that valley of Jehoshaphat that meets also Matthew 25, when Jesus says all the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate them from one another as the shepherd separated the sheep from the goat. This is Matthew 25. After the second coming in Matthew 24, all will happen here. And so when we're standing here and we see these buildings right here, it speaks, the Bible speaks to us. And what do we have in the Dome of the Rock? In Revelation 11, as it speak of the temple, the third temple that will be rebuilt, right there, right? It's measured in Revelation 11, and what is measured, the person who's measuring it, the individual who's measuring it, he's told not to measure the courts of the Gentiles. And this is precisely the courts of the Gentiles, this part right here, where you have the Dome of the Rock and the Al-Aqsa Mosque. And so right there you can see, in fact, the place where the temple will be built. And so this is a very special place, one of the many special places we have in Jerusalem. Even tonight there's a very moving ceremony. The ceremony consists of the soldiers, to swearing of the soldiers. So what do they do here is that they give a gun, a weapon to the soldiers, as well as a Tanakh. right? A Tanakh, a Bible, the Hebrew scriptures to them, because it is important to them, right? So they have both of them, and so they start their training right after there. This is where we're going to go and see these things. And so may the Lord bless you all. It's always great, and it is great to be in this place, and we're very blessed to be here and to share this with you. Amen.